So welcome back. This is the second video in this playlist. And if you missed the first one is the intro to different businesses, the psychological aspects of business ownership, as well as validating your business idea. And basically, are you suitable to become a business owner? That's really what the first one is. Second one was exploring virtual service-based businesses, or things like freelancing, consulting, coaching, those types of things. And in staying in the virtual space, we're going to now explore virtual product-based models, or what is more commonly known as print-on-demand or digital downloads. So these are things like ebooks and courses. They are print-on-demand things, so like t-shirts, mugs, that type of thing, as well as maybe some wall art. This can also be workbooks. And what you often hear is talking about Etsy stores, or personalized Shopify stores, or the controversy of Redbubble that's currently happening. So these are some of those virtual type based product businesses. So let's jump in and talk about the pros and cons of this business model, along with the income that you could potentially earn, whether that's part-time, side hustle kind of thing, all the way to full-time on a medium tenure, as well as the future potential that you could see in a long-term strategy with this business. So let's take a look. This is a model that we often see the YouTube influencers such as Baddie In Business, Kelsey Rodriguez, Brandon Timothy, Journey with the Hintons, Molly Kaiser, and Casey Johnson, plus many more who talk about this. And if you love the idea of passive income, this is probably pretty intriguing. But I please caution you, take a look at this creator here. He talks about the actual kind of guts and glory that you can experience with this. He calls out a lot of creators who are kind of hyping this up to be bigger and better than it is. It is work, regardless. And he wants to kind of make sure you are aware of kind of the pitfalls associated to this, and that it isn't all sunshine, rainbows, and money everywhere. All right, so let's jump in and take a look at the pros of this. And this model is very attractive to many people, especially who are starting on a part-time basis, because it has a very low barrier to entry, meaning it doesn't cost a lot to start. You can kind of start this on a part-time basis if you have a computer, you have internet, some basic graphic design skills. It can allow you to potentially start building a business almost right out of the door. And with places like Etsy, it does give you an environment to start tipping your toes in the water to see if it is for you. But I do kind of stress, if this is something that you're looking to take out further long term, you probably would want to invest in a professional website so that you own all of your traffic and your revenue that comes out of your digital shop. This is also highly scalable. So you can start minimal, but then scale it up over time. And there are many virtual shops that do have tons of products out there. And what they are doing is putting a vast amount of product out there in hopes that it would trigger the right person at the right time in their buying cycle. So it allows you to start small, but to get to the higher profit numbers, you are going to have to scale up productivity on this one. The other benefit of this is that you can create automations to sell this on your behalf. So if you do have things like ebooks or courses, you could put them on a landing page and then just run ads to them as well. As long as your ads aren't dipping into your profitability too much, this could be potentially a set it and forget it type strategy. However, I do caution you that it's probably something that you want to visit on a regular basis to make sure that your ads aren't going astray, that they are hitting the right people, that you're not getting bad reviews. You do want to make sure that you are actively managing your ads if you were going to put an automation strategy in place. And you can also create this that it is an automatic download, so you aren't having to email things to everyone who purchases your goods every single time. So it can be a low touch approach to running a business as well. And the biggest draw, of course, it can be done part-time and it can be done full-time. And the more time you invest into it, the greater growth potential it could be. And if you are getting value out of these videos, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you, and it costs nothing to you but a little tap of the button. So thank you. So let's talk about the genuine cons of this, because every business will have them. And with this type of business, there is a lot of upfront work you have to do. So if you are doing courses, this could be months of research, of scripting, of editing, of filming, of doing all of the kind of uploads and descriptions and workbooks associated to it. So a course can be very involved. An ebook, there are some creators out there that say, oh, with ChatGPT, you can do it in a couple of hours. Well, if you want something that is genuine, that you have written, that that if somebody questioned you about it, that there wouldn't be any issues of, oh, well, I don't know how that got in there. And yes, currently there is a politician out there who is claiming she had no idea how something got in her book. Anyway, if you are creating an ebook of type, you do want to make sure you are giving your information. Yes, use AI to help you with it, but for the most part, it will involve some kind of work. And then print-on-demand products, it does involve a process of getting things aligned to make it sure that it would look good on a t-shirt. You want to make sure you're choosing quality so that you're not having a whole bunch of returns. There is a lot of work to this. And I will say, I do know this model as well. I gave it a test drive. Anything that I try or I want to talk about, I always make sure I know how it works so that if somebody ever did question me, I would have the experience there. And I will say, creating a digital shop is hours of putting things together in creating your kind of templates that would be printed on, whether that's a mug or whether that is a t-shirt or digital art, etc. It is not as easy as some creators make it look out to be, but I'm sure over time you do get better and better and faster at this, and perhaps even hire people to do it for you. But there is an investment of time involved in starting this business. And another big con with this is because there is the lure of easy money here, there is a lot of competition. So the market is considered saturated here. And that doesn't stop you from perhaps finding the next best thing and launching a store. I don't want to discourage you. There's more than enough room in this world for everyone. Everyone has their thing, their person, and maybe yours is that unique thing that just sells. But I do want to make sure you are aware that there is a lot of stiff competition. And the time that I ran my Etsy store, I can say I have SEO experience. I have the ability to pay for ads, etc. I will say to get the kind of traffic that the big stores get, it will take time. You're not going to get out there right away and start selling. It is a lot of competition. A lot of people need to be found along the way, but you do have the ability to still sell here. And yes, it does involve some tech experience. And I don't think that you can really do this from your phone because of the fact that just graphic design sometimes requires like the smallest minute change. And I really do believe that you would require to have a computer to kind of start this, or at least be able to scale it in a significant way. So it is a tech-dependent type of business. And the last con is one that I kind of touched upon earlier, and that is reputation risk. If you put out crap, you are going to get crap reviews. Bottom line is, people do not like parting with their money for crap. So if your course is crap, if your ebook's crap, if your print-on design is crap, if your quality is crap, well, you're going to suffer and you're going to get a lot of refund requests and you're going to get a lot of bad reviews. So you need to make sure that your quality is top-notch and your service is also top-notch as well. Just because you are a digital store and perhaps automated, you want to make sure that you are accessible for those people who have a question, who are having issues, who need to do some modifications or whatever the case may be. You want to make sure that you are there and service and quality counts. Now, let's talk money. And bottom line is, this is very variable because it depends. Do you own your own website, or are you paying fees to advertise on somebody else's or host on somebody else's? It also depends, are you running ads or are you getting free traffic? There's a lot of variables that can come from this. So starting part-time, there's really no way to kind of gauge this because of the fact it depends so heavily on the product and how much you put out there to be able to generate something. So I would say when I started my Etsy shop, I was barely seeing like $20, $30 after a few months of running it. Just because of, again, there was not a whole lot of eyes on it because I didn't have the volume and I didn't have the time to invest that significant volume into it either. So could you scale this quite quickly? Yes. But realistically, working 9 to 5, I want to make sure that if you are starting this, just understand it will need to be a long game, but you can start part-time until your income gets to the point where you can then replace it and then go full-time. That is probably the strategy that I would do if I was looking at starting this kind of business full-time. So 3 to 5 year projections also are very hard because it depends on what type of product that you are offering. If you are offering, $2 downloads for digital art, it's going to take a whole lot of money to replace a 9 to 5 job or to make $100,000 a year or 10K months. But if you offer a course that you are highly skilled at, that people are willing to buy, there could be huge revenue here. It's not uncommon to have courses that earn $1 million a year. Again, this required the person who was making it to invest a lot of time, and they usually have a large amount of expertise that they bring to the table as well. But courses have a huge upswing potential, and ebooks kind of, it depends on what it is. It depends on how you're getting out there, depends on how you're advertising it. But there are ways that you can really scale this, but again, very, very product dependent. So in this category, I would say it's probably more of a long-term strategy. I do believe you could earn over $100,000 a year in this if you put the time and the effort in. Could you earn $1 million here or $1 million plus here? I do also believe that you could. Do you need an agency for it? Maybe. Do you need to hire for that? Probably. But depending on what you're offering, I do believe that there could be a $1 million business viability here, depending on what it is. All right. So to summarize, the lure of a virtual product-based business is high because you can start part-time and then scale it up over time. It is a low cost to get in, but it does require a trade-off of your time and energy and perhaps some skills as well in order to scale this up to a higher income over time. And with that, we have wrapped up the virtual product-based model, and we are going to step into the next one, a very highly popular topic of social media marketing agency, or an SMMA. Some people also refer this to the SaaS business as well. They are a little bit different, and we're going to explore that next.